Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 1-1 of May-June 2015. Now let's move on to question number 1. So first question, we have to state the period of sine 2x. So how do you find a period for a sine function, right? So you have to look at this number here. So this is 2. So what does 2 mean? 2 means the number of cycles. So this number here is the number of cycles in 360 degrees. So to find the period, we call this one t. We have to take 360 divide by this number right here, 2. That will be 180. So the period is equal to 180 degrees. Or if you want to write pi, you have to write pi radians for the period. If you want to write that, up to you. 180 degrees or pi radians. Now for part 2, state the amplitude of this. So amplitude will be the number just before the function, which is 2. So amplitude is equal to 2. Okay, that is part 1 and part 2. Now part 3, on the axis below, sketch the graph of sketch. Sketch means it doesn't need to be exact. As long as you plot the points, you are good to go. For part 1, y equal to sine 2x from 0 to 180. So we know that in 360 it has 2 cycles. So in 180 you will have only 1 cycle. So the period is 180. You will have only 1 cycle. But if you guys don't know the shape of sine curve, that is okay as well. All you have to do is to make a table for the values of x and finding the values of y. So let's do that. So y is equal to what? Here we have y is equal to sine 2x. So let's take the values of x and find the value of y. X can be 0, 45, 90, 135, and 180. So this is given to, as you can see, these are given to you by your graph. Now let's find the corresponding values of y. So we just have to replace back in your equation. So let's put that in degrees. So sine 2 times 0 is 0. That will be 0. Sine 2 times 45 is 90. That will be 1. Sine 2 times 90, that will be 180. That should be 0. Sine 2 times 135, that is sine of 270. That should be minus 1. And sine of 2 times this, that will be sine of 360. That should be 0. So all we have to do is plot the points on the graph. First one is 0, 0. So that is pretty easy. Then we have 45, 1. That should be here. Then we have 90, 0. Then we have 135 minus 1. And then we have 180, 0. So let's join the point by a smooth curve. So try your best. So this will be like that. Okay. And this is the max point. Okay, so that is your sine. That is your y equal to sine 2x for the blue line. Okay. Now for the next part is we have to find the curve y equal to 1 plus 2 cos 3x. So same way we have to, we just have to make a table. If you guys don't know the shape of a cos curve, make a table just like this and find the corresponding value. So let's do this right here. Yeah, let's do it here. So we have y equal to 1 plus 2 cos 3x. So here, since we have 3, let's find the interval to be. So we have to take 90 divided by 3. It will have 30 degrees. So interesting values for this curve would happen at every 30 degrees. That's why we take 90 divided by this number to find the interesting interval. So one thing we need to do here before that is we have to look at this number. This is your baseline, y is equal to 1. Let's draw this first on the curve. So your baseline will be here, which means this line is exactly in between, is halfway the curve. So let's draw this as an indication to where is your baseline of this curve. That is the line y equal to 1. Now for the rest, we have amplitude of 2, which means the curve go 2 up and 2 down. So 2 up, 1, 2. So you will go to a max of 3. So let's draw this to a max value of 3 and to a minimum value of -1. So that will be your, let's call them your max and min curves, min line, sorry. So basically what it means is that this is your baseline. Your baseline is found by this 1, so y is equal to 1, this value. And then this 2 is your max value of the curve by taking the amplitude 2, so we count 1, 2, and 1, 2 on both sides. That will be your max value on top and your minimum value on the bottom. Now we just have to find the points and we can draw this on the curve. So now for the intervals, we have to take the value of 30. So let's do that. So we have 0. Let's take 30, for example, and let's take 45 as well. Then we have 60. Let's take 90, and then it will be repeating itself. But no, let's just first look at this and see what we have. So usually one more point will be 120. But let's first look at this to see what happens. So here we have cos 1 plus 2, cos of 0. That should be 3. That is your x value, and your y, that should be 3. Next will be 30. That will be 1 plus 2 cos of 3 times 30. That will be 90. So 1 plus 2 cos of 3 times 30. That should be 90. That should be 1. And then 45. Let's try that. So 3 times 45 will be 135. Cos of answer times 2 plus 1. That should be minus 0.4. It is not exact, so I guess we have to follow the 30 degrees interval. It is more exact, right? So for 60, cos of 3 times 60, so times 2 plus 1, that should be minus 1. 90, so 1 plus 2 cos of 3 times 90, that should be 1. And then 120, 1 plus 2 cos of 3 times 120, that should be 3. Okay, so we can continue. So 120, what is the next interval? That will be 1 plus 30, that will be 150, and then 180. So 150 will be 1 plus 2 cos of 3 times 150, that should be 1. And then 180, 1 plus 2 cos of 3 times 180, that should be minus 1. So the reason why we don't take the points is 45 or 135 is because of this number here. So we have to take 90 divided by this number. It gives you 30. It means that the interval that we need to find the values for, it needs to be 30. So this one is, as you can see, if we took 45, it did not give us an exact value, so it's kind of hard to write where it is. So we have to find the exact intervals for the exact value, so it is easy for you to draw your curve on this graph. So for example here, as you can see, sine 2x, it is 2 here. 90 divided by 2 is what? It's 45. So every interval here is 45, right? That's why we took 45, 90, all these numbers. But for here, since it was 3, the interval is 30, so every interval has to be 30 to give you exact values for you to plot your curve. So let's do that. So let's use a different color here. So the first point is 0, 3. 0, 3 is here. Then we have 30, 1. So 30, so let's break this down. 45, 30 should be about, where should be 30? So let's first write down, we have 60 also. So it doesn't need to be exact, so that it will be 15. Let's say 30 will be here. It should be 1, approximately here, 1, which is this point, right? So this is 1. And then we have 60 minus 1. 60 will be the next one here. So approximately will be about right here. So 60 minus 1. Then we have 91. 90, that will be 1. Then we have 120, that will be 3. So 120, let's say it's about here. It doesn't need to be exact because it is only a sketch, so that is okay. 120. 120 should be 3. So 15, 30 should be about here actually. This one is too far away. It's not there. It's not equal, so that's bad. Let's put it about here. So 15 about this value, 30 can be about this value right here. Okay, but anyways, it should not be. It can be also not exact because it's only a sketch, so that's okay. So 120, that will be about. So here we have 90 plus 15. That should be what? That should be. So 105 plus 15, 120. 120 will be 3. 3 will be about on this line. And then next one is 150, that will be 1. So 150, let's break this down as well into equal 3 parts. Approximately equal 3 parts, that should be about here. So that will be 150, and that should be 1. 1 is right here. And lastly, so we have 180, that will be minus 1. Okay, so as you can see, we have a few points to plot, and it's not exact, but that is okay. So here we have this. Okay, and here we have this, and here we have this. So let's use this point, so it's kind of symmetric. Okay, so make sure that it is smooth. My curve is not great, so make sure it's smooth, so it will be fine. Okay, so in that case, that will be your curve y equal to 1 plus 2 cos 3x. That will be the red line. So make sure it's smooth, because that's the best way you can draw your curve for your 4 marks. If it's like that, it's not great. It is still good, but it's not great. You have to make it smooth for your curves. Now for this one, state the number of solutions of this equal to 1. So basically we have to find where they intersect. As you can see, we have 1 point here, 2 point here, and 3 points. So the number of solutions is equal to 3, because there is 3 points of intersection. So that will be your question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. It says, do not use a calculator in this question. So it means that we have to show all the steps of our work. The diagram shows the triangles ABC. As you can see, ABC is right angled. Okay. Now for part 1, tan of this, so we have to find tan of theta. So now you know what is tan. Tan of theta is equal to your opposite side over your adjacent side. So this is your adjacent side, and this is your opposite side. So let's write this down. Tan of theta is equal to your opposite side, 8 plus 5 root 2, divided by your adjacent side, so which is 4 plus 3 root 2. Now once you have this, you have to simplify this fraction. We have to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of these numbers. That will be 4 minus 3 root 2, 4 minus 3 root 2 on both sides. So let's find out. So what is this times this? Let's do this here. So 4 plus 3 root 2 times 4 minus 3 root 2. This is very similar to a plus b and a minus b, which is equal to a square minus b square. So same way, this is equal to 4 square minus 3 root 2 square. That will be 16 minus 9 times 2. That will be 16 minus 18. That will be minus 2. So the base become minus 2. And now how about the top? The top we have 8 plus 5 root 2 times 4 minus 3 root 2. Now if you want to expand this, we will have 8 times this, that will be 3, 2, minus 24 root 2 plus 20 root 2, so root 2, right? And then minus 15 times 2. So this time this will be 3 times 5 is 15. Root 2 times root 2 is equal to 2. Now we just have to simplify. So we have 32 minus 30, that will be 2. That will be minus 4 root 2. Replace this back in your main equation. So on top you have 2 minus 4 root 2 divided by minus 2. So this will give you minus 2 plus 2, so minus 1, this. So your value becomes, so minus 1 plus 2 root 2. But the value of a and b are integers. So these two are integers, and this is your answer for part 1. Now for part 2, we have to find sec square theta. Now, what is sec theta? It is 1 over cos theta. So we have to find that. So to find this, first we have to find what is cos theta. So cos theta is equal to what? You would say it is your adjacent side over your hypotenuse. So on this diagram, we only have these two, so we have to find this as well. So how do you find the side of AC? We can find this by using the Pythagoras theorem, because we have these two sides and we have a right angle triangle. We can find AC by using the Pythagoras theorem. So AC square is equal to this one, 4 plus 3 root 2 square plus 8 plus 5 root 2 square. Expand, you will have 16 plus, so 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is 24 root 2 plus 9 times 2 plus 64 plus 80 root 2 plus 25 times 2. Expand, you will have what? So 16 plus 18 plus 64 and plus 50. So let's do that. 16 plus 18 plus 64 plus 50. That is 148. And then we have to add this one and this one. That should be 104 root 2. That is for AC square. Okay. Now to find AC, that will be square root of this one. Okay, for now we have AC. Okay, now replace back here. A is your adjacent side, which is 4 plus 3 root 2 divided by H, which is your AC, given to you as this one. That will be root of 148 plus 104 root 2. Now next step, we have to find sec square theta. So we have to square, and that has to square. So we have to find this square, and has to be square as well. It become 4 plus 3 root 2 square divided by, so that when you square a square root, that becomes, it goes away, so you have this remaining at the bottom. Now next step, we have to simplify the top. So what is the top become? So if you observe, this is the same as this, so this is this. So let's simplify. 16 plus 18, that is 34 plus 24 root of 2. So the top is, let's write this down, that is 34 plus 24 root of 2 over 148 plus 104 root of 2. So let's see if we can divide by 2 everywhere. Let's do that. You will have 17 plus 12 root of 2 divided by, so 148 divided by 2, that will be 74 plus, so 104 divided by 2, that should be 52 root 2. Okay, so next step, as you have seen, we have to find sec square theta. This one is only cos square theta, so we have to do sec square theta will be 1 over cos, so we have to invert this upside down. So you will have 74 plus 5/2 root 2 over 17 plus 12 root 2. So now we have to simplify to make this in this term. So we have to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the base. That will be 17 minus 12 root 2 and 17 minus 12 root 2. So same thing, the two base will become what? So we have 17 plus 12 root 2 times 17 minus 12 root 2. This is the same as a plus b, a minus b, which is equal to a square minus b square. So it becomes 17 square minus 12 root 2 square. That will be what? So 17 square is 289 minus 144 times 2. That should be 1. So your base becomes 1. Now we just have to simplify the top. The top is, let's do this. So we have 74 plus 5/2 root 2 times 17 minus 12 root 2. This should give you 74 times this 2. You will have, what is 74 times 17? That is 1258 minus 74 times 12. That should be 888 root 2. And then plus 5/2 times 17, 884 root 2. And then minus 5/2 times 12. That should be 624 times 2. Okay, so let's simplify. So this minus this, 1258 minus this one, that will be 10. And then minus 888 plus 884, that is minus 4. So by simplifying, the top becomes only 10 minus 4 root 2 over the base is 1. So your answer is 10 minus 4 root 2, where this and this are integers. So this is pretty long, but you have to show all your work for your full marks. That is question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So find the first 4 terms in this expansion. This is pretty easy. This is just a binomial expansion. So the first term, we have to look at the power. It is 6. So we write 6, choose 0. Then we have 2 here, write 2. And we have x squared, we write x squared. Okay, so 0 will go to 0 here. And 6 minus 0 is 6. 6 will become this. So this is your first term. So same way, go ahead. So 6, choose 1. So we have 2 and x squared. This is 1, this becomes 1, and this becomes 5. Plus 6, choose 2. This is 2, and x squared. This is 2, this becomes 4. And finally, the fourth term, 6, choose 3. 2 power 3, x squared power 3. First term become 2 power 6 will be what? Let's check. 2 power 6 will be 64, that is the first term, plus 6 choose 1 is 6, times 2 power 5 will be 32, times x squared, plus 6 choose 2 will be 15, 15 times 2 power 4 will be 16, times x power 4, plus 6 choose 3, that is 20, 20 times 8 times x power, this is 3, this should be 3 here, that should be 6. Okay, if you simplify, 64 plus, so 6 times 32, that will be 192, x squared plus 15 times 6, that should be what? Let me check. So here we have 15 times 16, that should be 240. X power 4, and plus, so 20 times 80, that should be 160. X power 6. That is your first four term of this expansion. Now move on to the next one. Find the term independent of x, which means the term which does not have an x in this expansion. So we have to expand this first. You will have 1 minus 6 over 2 plus 9 over x power 4. So if this times this, you will have first term will be 1 times this, 2 plus x power 2, 6 minus 6 over x squared times this, and then plus 9 over x power 4 times this. Okay, so if you expand, so for the first term we have to look for something which is not in terms of x. So we have 64, so 1 times 64 minus 6 over x squared times which term will give you something, so that it will cancel out this one. I have to times this one, so 192 x power 2, so these two will be cancelled out, plus 9 over x power 4 times this one. So it cancels out the x power 4 at the bottom as well. So if you simplify, this will be 64 minus 6 times 192 plus 9 times 240. So pretty easy. 64 minus 6 times 192 plus 9 times 240, that should be 1072. This will be the term independent of x, and this is your answer for part 2. That is question number 3. To question number 4. Given that x is equal to this fraction, this matrix, sorry, find x squared in terms of constant k. So now what is x squared? X squared is equal to x times x. So remember, when it comes down to matrix, x squared is equal to x times x. So let's do that. 2k minus 40 times 2k minus 40. Now to multiply matrix is always rows by column. So first one we have 2 times 2 plus minus 4 times k. Okay, that's our first one. And now for this one, so rows by column. So 2 times minus 4 plus minus 4 times 0. That's the other one. Now for this one, rows by column. So k times 2 plus 0 times k. And then for this one, rows by column, k times minus 4 plus 0 times 0. Now if you simplify, this is 4 minus 4k, this is minus 8, and this is 2k, and this is minus 4k. Okay, that will be your answer in terms of k for x squared. That is part 1. Now for part B, we have to, given the matrix A is this one, we know A inverse is given by this. Find the value of each of the integers A and B. So we have A, let's find A inverse. So how do you find A inverse? We first have to find the determinant of A, which is equal to cross multiply 5A minus B. Okay. Now what is the adjoint matrix of A? Switch the positions, 5 goes here, A comes down. Switch the sign, B becomes minus B, 1 becomes minus 1. So from this we have A inverse is equal to 1 over determinant times the adjoint matrix. So this is your A inverse. So now we have to compare to find the values of A and B. So let's first compare the first value. So here we have 5 over 6 equal to this one. So let's use a different color. So first value is 5 over 6 is supposed to give you 5 over 5a minus b. Now these two will be cancelled out. We have 1 and 1, so we just cross multiply. You will have 5a minus b is equal to 6. That is your first equation. Now let's compare this value with this one. So we have 1 over 3 is equal to a over 5a minus b. Okay, so next step is to cross multiply. You will have 5a minus b is equal to 3a, which means, so we have 2a is equal to b. That is your second equation. Now replace this b in this b let's see what do you have. You will have 5a minus b, which will be 2a, equal to 6. So 3a is equal to 6, which means a is equal to 2, and b is equal to 2 times a, that will be 4. So value of a and b, a is 2, and b is equal to 4. That is part B of question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. The curve y is this, intersect the line at the point A and B. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of line AB. So to find that, first we have to find the points A and B. So let's see where do they intersect. So here we have y, replace y in this equation. So you will have 3 x minus 1 equal to x times 3x minus 1 plus x squared minus 4. Simplify, you will have 3x minus 1 equal to 3x squared minus x plus x squared minus 4. Next step, we can simplify, so let's keep this the same for now. So 3x squared plus 1x squared, that will be 4x squared minus x minus 4. Now send everything to one side, you will have 4x squared minus x minus 3x, so minus 4x, minus 4 plus 1 minus 3 becomes 0. So now we have to factorize and find the values of x for which this is true. So what is 4? 4 is 2x times 2x, and 3 is just 3 times 1. Now to get minus 4, we have to do minus 6 plus 2, right? So 2x times minus 3 is minus 6, plus 2x minus, that is minus 4, right? So here we have the factorization. So if you guys don't know how to do factorization, you can always revert back to your formula. You're guaranteed to find an answer. If you guys don't know how to factorize something, go just use the formula, you will find your answers of x, okay? Now x is equal to minus 1 over 2, x is equal to 3 over 2. So the point A happened first. This is the point A. We have x as this, so we have to find y. And the point B, here we have 3 over 2. We have to find the value of y. So go back to your main equation, 3 equal to y equal to 3, x minus 1. Now for x equal to minus half, find the value of y. Y will be 3 times minus 1 over 2, minus 1, that should give you. So 3 times minus 1 over 2 minus 1. That should be minus 2, this. And for x equal to 3 over 2, y is 3 times 3 over 2 minus 1. That is 3.5. So basically here you have your point A and B. So let's write this down here. You have 3 half and minus 2 half. Now if you guys don't like to work with fractions, they can always simplify these two. A is equal to minus 0.5, and that is minus 2.5, and B is 1.5 and 3.5. You can always just simplify two decimals if you guys don't like to work with fractions. So now you know the point A and B. So from this we have to find the perpendicular bisector of line AB. So for example, here we have a point A and here we have a point B. They join together, right? AB. So we have to find the perpendicular bisector. So this line goes through the midpoint of AB at 90 degrees. That's what is called a perpendicular bisector. Let's call this one the line P. So this point is the midpoint. So let's first find the midpoint. What is the midpoint of AB? So midpoint M, that is x1 plus x2, that will be 1 over 2, and then we have y1 plus y2, that will be same 1 over 2. That is your midpoint, which is 0.5 and 0.5. Now we have to find the gradient of this line. So to find the gradient of this line, we first find the gradient of AB. So M of AB, have to use your formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That will be 3.5 minus 2.5 divided by 1.5 minus 0.5. That should be 3. So gradient of AB is 3. So since this line is perpendicular to this, so we mean that the gradient of P is minus 1 over 3. Now since we know the gradient and we know the passing point, we can find the equation. So pretty easily, that is y minus half over x minus half is equal to minus 1 over 3. So cross multiply, you will have 3y minus 3 over 2 minus x plus half. So you will have 3y is equal to minus x plus half plus 3 over 2. So 3y is equal to minus x, that will be plus 2. This is your equation of the perpendicular bisector of line AB. That will be your question number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. The polynomial f of x is given by this, has factor this, and a remainder of this when divided by this. So pretty easy. So it means that, so what does it mean when it has a factor of this? It means that it has a remainder of 0 when it is divided by this factor. So let's do that. If you equate this to 0, value of x is equal to half. So basically f of half is supposed to give you 0. So let's do that. So a times half power 3 will be 1 over 8 minus 15, x power 2 will be 1 over 4 plus b, that is 1 over 2 minus 2 equal to 0. Now we simplify. Let's see what do we get. So we have a over 8 minus 15 over 4 plus b over 2 minus 2 equal to 0. So one thing we can do here is we can multiply by 8 everywhere to remove every base. So let's do that. Multiply by 8 everywhere. You will have a minus 15 times 2 plus b times 4 minus 16 equal to 0. Simplify. We have a plus 4b is equal to what? So minus 30. So here we have minus 30 minus 16. Now we minus 46. So when you send this over the other side, it will become 46. A is equal to 46 minus 4b. That is your equation number 1. Now for number 2, it's pretty easy as well. It says it has a remainder of 5 when divided by this. So it means that f of 1 is equal to 5 for the remainder of 5. Now replace the value of 1 in your equation. You will have f of 1 is a minus 15 plus b minus 2, supposed to give you 5. So a plus b is equal to what? 5 plus 2 plus 15. That should be 22. So that is your equation number 2. Now we can just replace this value. So a can be replaced here. You have 46 minus 4b plus b equal to 22. So minus 3b equal to 22 minus 46. That should be minus 24. So b is equal to 8. This is shown as required. And then a is equal to 22 minus b. 22 minus b, which is 8, that should give you what? So let's try. That will be 14. So a is 14, b is 8. Okay, that is part 1. Now for part 2, using your values of a and b, express this in the form of this, where g of x is a quad factor to be found. So pretty easy. As you can see, this is the factor given to you already. We just have to perform a long division. So now our f of x is equal to a, which is 14 x cubed minus 15 x squared plus b is equal to 8 x minus 2. We have to do a long division with factor of 2x minus 1. So this is given to you here as well. You see it has a factor of 2x minus 1. So same thing. We have to use this to find the other factors. So now first question is, how can you make 2x become 14x cubed? You have to multiply by 7 and then multiply by x squared. So that becomes So this times this, you will have 14 x cubed minus 7x squared. So these two cancel out. Minus 15 plus, so minus minus become plus. So minus 15 minus minus 7, that should be minus 8. So minus 8x squared plus 8x minus 2. Now same thing, how can you make 2x become minus 8x squared? Have to multiply by minus 4x. That will become minus 8x squared plus 4x. When you multiply this by this, you get this. Now these two cancel out. 8 minus 4 is 4x minus 2. So the last question here is, how can you make 2x become 4x? Have to multiply by 2. So multiply by plus 2, so you will have 4x minus 2. So these two will cancel out, you will have 0. So that means your f of x is equal to 2x minus 1, that is your factor, and then this is your quad, which is 7x squared minus 4x plus 2. That is your g of x that you had to find. That is part 2. Now part 3, show that this equation has only one real root. So this is f of x is equal to 2x minus 1, then we have 7x squared minus 4x plus 2, supposed to give you 0. Now the one root is obvious. This is your value for your real root. X is equal to half. Half is a real number. That is your real root. So you have to show that this is the only thing you can have for this equation. Now for this one, we have to prove that this is b squared minus 4ac has to be less than 0. We have to prove that this is true. So here we don't have any real root. So b squared is what? Is minus 4 squared minus 4 times a times c. C is 2. That is 16 minus, so what is 4 times 7 times 2? That is 56. So 16 minus 56, that is minus 40. And minus 40 is less than 0. So you have shown that b squared is less than 0. This is shown as required, that it does not have another real root. We have only one real root as this one, and this one only is imaginary roots. And that will be your question number 6. Now question number 7, the point A, where x is equal to 0, lies on the curve y. The normal to the curve at A meets the x-axis at point B. So first one is to find the equation of this normal. Okay, so we have to find the equation of the normal. So the normal goes to the point of A. So what is the point A? We know that the point A where x is 0, so we have to find the value of y. So replace x, let's see what is y. That will be ln, 4 times 0 is 0, that will be 3, over minus 1, which is minus ln 3. So your point A is equal to 0 minus ln 3. Okay, that is your point A. Now to find the equation of a line, we have to find the normal, right? So we have to find the gradient. Okay, so first let's find the gradient of the tangent at this point. M of tangent at x equal to 0. So m of tangent is just dy by dx. So let's find dy by dx first. So this one is a quotient, is a fraction, so we have to use your quotient rule. That will be x minus 1 times dy by dx on the top will give you 1 over 4x squared plus 3 multiplied by differentiation of this one, that will give you 8x, and this is just 0. Now minus, we leave the top one by itself now, multiply by differentiation of the bottom one, that will give you 1, and everything divided by the base square. The base was x minus 1 square. So we can just replace the value of x equal to 0 to find the value of dy by dx. So let's do that. Dy by dx is equal to what? That will be minus 1 times That will be 0 minus ln. That will be 3 divided by 1. So your answer should be minus ln 3 as your gradient for the tangent. So from this you have your m of normal, that should give you 1 over ln 3. That should be your value for the normal gradient. Now using the gradient and using the point A, as we have seen, we can find the equation of the normal. So we have y minus ln 3, so it's minus, so plus, divided by x minus 0 is equal to 1 over ln 3. Now we cross multiply, you will have ln 3, so y here, plus ln 3 square is equal to x. So we have y is equal to what? So you have x minus ln 3 square divided by ln 3. That is equal to 1 over ln 3 x minus ln 3. That is your equation of your normal. Now for part 2, find the area of the triangle AOB, where O is the origin. So A we know is what? Is 0 minus ln 3. O is your origin. So we have to find the point B. B is where? At the x-axis. So we know at x-axis the value of y is 0. So this is y, we have to find this value of x. So pretty easy. So we have the equation of the line, which is y equal to this, ln 3 x minus ln 3. Now when y equal to 0, find the value of x. That should be what? So if you bring this one over here, you will have 1 over 3 equal to 1 over ln 3 times x. So value of x will be ln 3 square. Okay, so that is ln 3 square. Now to find the area is pretty easy. So let's have a look. Let's draw something to understand where's the area. This is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Okay, this is your x and y. The point A is 0 minus this, so 0 minus will be about here. This is your point A. Now your point O is here. Now your point B will be, this is positive, should be about here, and that is your point B. So to find the area of this place, we have a right angle triangle, so it should be pretty easy, right? So we do half times base, which is the length of B, which is this one, ln 3 square, times height, which is this one, which is ln 3, to find the value. So let's do that. So half times ln 3 power 3. So power 3, right? That will become 0.663. 0.663 units square for the area of AOB. That is your answer for question number 7. Now question number 8, given that f of x equal to this, write down the range of f and the range of g. So the range is just to find the y value, where can it go up to. Now for the first one, range of, so here we can take the value of x can be more or equal to 0. So what value of y can you have? Let's say if x equal to 0, what is the value of f? F of 0, that will be 3. That is 3. So in this case, f is more or equal to 3. That is the minimum value. So it's the same thing here. We have x is equal to 0, for example. Then we have g of 0, that will be 0 plus 2 square plus 5, that is 9. So g is more or equal to 9. So these two are the range of f and g. Now for part 2, find the find g inverse stating its domain. So pretty easy. G inverse, we have to let y equal to g, which is this. Okay. Now we have to make x become the subject of formula. So first step, we have to send 5 over here. You will have this. Then send the square. You will have this. Then we have x equal to 2. So minus 2 plus minus root of y minus 5. So since so we have g inverse of x is equal to root of x minus 5. Now since we can choose the values to be positive or negative, and since you have seen that the value of x is more than 0, so let's take the positive value. That will be minus 2 plus x minus 5. That is your g inverse. Now for this stating its domain, so state means you don't have to do any calculation, you just have to know something. So domain of g inverse is the same as range of g. So in this case, that will be x is more equal to 9. So range equal to domain. Okay, that is part 2. Now for part 3, find the exact solution of this. So let's first find this. So how would you find g of f of x? That will be g of f of x is equal to, that will be f of x plus 2 square plus 5. That is supposed to give you 41. If you simplify, f of x plus 2 square is equal to what? 41 minus 5, that should be 36. Now f of x is equal to 6 minus 2. F of x is equal to 4. Now f of x is given by 3. E 2x equal to 4. So e power 2x is equal to 4 over 3. So we send e over here, you will have 2x is equal to ln 4 over 3. And finally, x is equal to half of ln 4 over 3. And this is your answer for part 3. Now for part 4, we have to find f prime of ln 4. So now what is f prime? F prime is just d by dx of f of x. So let's find that. We know f of x is given to you by 3 e power 2x. So this will become 6 e power 2x. So we have to replace the value of x by ln 4. That will be 6 e 2 times ln 4. That will be 6 e 2 ln 4. So we have this, we can send this over here. You will have 6 e ln 4 power 2. That should be 6 e ln 16. Now e ln is equal to 1. This becomes 1. So you will have 6 times 16. That will be your answer. 96. Okay, that will be your value that you're looking for. So in terms of 1, I mean is becomes this value only. So this goes away. So basically I mean this goes away. You get 16. 6 times 16 becomes 96. That will be your answer for part 4. That is question number 8. Now let's move on to question number 9. Okay, so what do we have here? Here we have the diagram shows part of the line y equal to 3x plus 10. That is your line. And your curve has been given to you as well. Now, it both passes to the point A. So A is this point on the y-axis. And the curve has a max at B and a minimum at C. Now, the line through C is parallel to y-axis, intersects the line, this one at the point D. As you can see, we have C here, we have point D here. This line cuts this line at the point D. That is good to know. Now part 1, show that line AD is a tangent to the curve at this. So pretty easy. This line AD is given to you as y equal to 3x plus 10. So to show that it is a tangent at this curve at A, we have to show that the gradient at A is the same as this one. So gradient of line, let's call it line, is equal to 3. According to the equation, we have this. So now we have to find the gradient of the tangent at point A, the value, and if it is equal to 3, that will prove that it is a tangent. So let's see what is the gradient of the curve at this point A. So y for the curve is x3 minus x power 2 plus 3x plus 10. So how do you find gradient? You have to find dy by dx. It is equal to 3x power 2 minus 10x plus 3. That is 0. So we know that at the point, so at the point A, the value of x is equal to 0. It is the y-axis. So when x equal to 0, dy by dx is equal to 3. So in that case, we have shown that this is equal to this. So since gradient of L is equal to dy by dx at x equal to 0 is equal to 3, it shows that the line AD is a tangent to the curve at this point. So this is the point, A is this point, x is 0. Okay, that is how you show it is a tangent. That is the first part. Now for part 2, find the x coordinate of B and C. So as you know, at stationary point, we have dy by dx is equal to 0. So dy by dx is this value. It is equal to 0. Now we factorize. That will be 3x times x, and 3 is 3 times 1. Now for us to get minus 10 has to be minus 3 minus 1. So minus 9 minus 1 is minus 10. So that is good to go. X is equal to 1 over 3. X is equal to 3. So x coordinate of B is 1 over 3, and x coordinate of C will be 3. This is part 2 of the question. Now if you move on to the next part, is we have to find the area of the region ABCD. So in your question, this is your region ABCD. It is the area in dark. So this is the area that we need to find for the last question. So how would you find this area? If you observe, here we have a shape AO, this point and D, as your trapezium. This is the whole area above the curve. So to find this black area, we have to first find the big area minus area under the curve. So how would you find this big area? So we have to find this distance. As you have seen, the x coordinate of C is equal to 3, and this is 0, so this length here is 3. And what is these two lengths? We know the point A is equal to 3, 0, which means this height here is what? It should be, so sorry, mistake again. This is x is 0. We have to find the value of y. So y we don't know, so let's replace to find the value of y. Okay, so basically use this line. So when y is equal to 3x plus 10, when x is equal to 0, value of y will be 10. So point A is 0, 10, and not this one because we made a mistake. Okay, so that should be the point A. So A will be 0, 10, which means the height here is 10. Now what is the point D? The point D is at the value when x is equal to 3. If x is equal to 3, the value of y is equal to 3 times 3 plus 10, that should be 19. So this height is 19. So we have to find the area of the trapezium. So that's the whole area. The whole area is area of a trapezium. So half times the parallel sides. So these two are parallel sides. So this side and this side are parallel sides. So 10 plus 19, and times the height in between, which is this one, which is 3. Right? This is the area of trapezium, which is the whole area of the above the curve. So half times 10 plus 19 times 3. That should give you 43.5. So now we have to minus the area under the curve to find this area. So how do you find area under the curve? We just have to integrate this value. So area under curve is integration between 3 and 0. So according to your graph, if you see here we have 3, and here we have 0. So we don't need the area under the curve, so we have to find this. So we can minus this to find the area of the black region. So let's do that. So y is equal to x power 3 minus 5x squared plus 3x plus 10 dx. That should give you x power 4 divided by 4 minus 5x power 3 divided by 3 plus 3x squared divided by 2 plus 10x between the regions of 3 and 0. So one by one, if you replace 3, you will have, this is 81 over 4 minus 5 times 5 over 3 times 27 plus 3 over 2 times 9 and plus 30. That is for x equal to 3. Now minus for x equal to 0. So that will be just 0. Now simplify this. 81 over 4 minus 5 times 27 over 3 plus 3 times 9 over 2 plus 30. That should be 18.75. Now from this we can find the area of the region that we need. So area of A, B, C, D will be area of trapezium, which is the whole area, minus area under the curve that we don't need. That should give you your answer. 43.5 minus answer, that should be 24.75 units square. Okay, and that is your answer for question number 9. On to question number 10. So we have to solve this one between x, 0 and 360. So first step is to realize what is this. Cosec is 1 over sine. Okay, so replace, you will have 4 sine x equal to 1 over sine x. Next step is to cross multiply. You will have 4 sine square x equal to 1, which bring you to sine square x is equal to 1 over 4, which bring you to sine x is equal to plus minus root of 1 over 4, and finally sine x is equal to plus minus 1 over 2. So here we have two possible values now because of the plus and minus. So first one will be sine of x is equal to minus half, or it can be sine of x is equal to half. Now for the negative value, sine is in this third quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. So third one will be 180 plus theta, and this is 360 minus theta. Now we have to find the value of theta. Theta is not the same as x for now, so theta is sine inverse of the positive value. That is equal to 30 degrees, you can check. So sine inverse of 0.5, that will be 30 degrees. Now to find the value of x, as you can see, first one is 180 plus theta, that will be 210, and 360 minus theta, that should be 330. That will be your first two values. And for this one, when sine is positive, it will be in your first quadrant and in your second quadrant. Okay, so x is sine inverse of 1 over 2. So here, since it is positive, x is the same as theta, so same value. X will be 30, that is in your first quadrant. In your second quadrant will be 180 minus this one, that will be 150. So your values for x will come down to x is equal to 30, 150, 210, and 330. These will be your values for x. Now for part B, solve this equation. Now you have been given a formula sheet for this paper, so let's use that. You will see here we have tan, we have sec, so we have to use this formula. So let's write this down. You have sec square y is equal to 1 plus tan square y. So if you replace the value of what? Of tan. So tan square y is equal to sec square y minus 1. So replace this right here. You will have sec square 3y minus 1 minus 2 sec 3y minus 2 becomes 0. Now simplify, you will have sec square 3y minus 2 sec 3y minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3 becomes 0. So this one is kind of tough to solve. Let's do this thing. Let's replace let u equal to sec 3y, so it is easier for you to solve. So here you will have u squared minus 2u minus 3 equal to 0. Now you can easily factorize. You will have u times u. 3 is 3 times 1. So to get minus 2, have to minus 3 plus 1. So u becomes minus 1 or u becomes 3. So now what is the u? U is sec 3y is equal to minus 1 and sec 3y is equal to 1. Now we cannot solve this like that. We have to find. So what is sec 3y is equal to 1 over cos 3y. So replace back, you will have cos 3y is equal to minus 1 again, and so here we have 3, sorry. So cos 3y is equal to 1 over 3. Okay, now we have to solve. We have two possible values. Now for this first one, the cos is negative, so 3y. So when cos is negative, what do we have? Let's see here. When cos is negative, it will be in this quadrant, which is this is in terms of degrees, that will be 180 minus theta, and we have in your third quadrant, so that will be what? That will be 180 plus theta. So let's first find the value of theta. Theta, as always, it is when the value here is positive. So let's take 1. Let's see what do we get. Cos inverse of 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so 3y is equal to, the first one is 180 plus 0, that is 180, and this is the same as well, 180, so only one value. So for now, let's leave it like that. Let's now find these values. Now for this one, when cos is positive, it will be in your first quadrant and in your fourth quadrant, which is 360 minus theta. So let's solve. So 3y is equal to cos inverse of 1 over 3, that should give you 70.5. That is in your first quadrant, and then we have 360 minus 70.5, that is 289.5. Okay, now since we have 3y, let's see what can we find if we have any other values. So the thing we do is we can add the 360 to each of those values and see if that is inside or outside the range that we have right here. So let's do that. So for now we have these three answers. These three are all good, but now we are testing to see if we have any other answers in this range. So let's do that. So first let's plus 360 to this. 70.5 plus 360, that is 430.5, and this one is plus 360, that will be 649.5. So same thing here, 180 plus 360, that will be 540. So these values are only testing values because we are doing this because here we have 3y instead of just y, we have 3y. We're just testing if we have these values in the range or not. Okay, so now we have to find the value of y. So divide by 3 everywhere. 70.5 divided by 3, that should be 23.5. 283.5 divided by 3, 96.5. 430.5 divided by 3, that is 143.5. 469.5 divided by 3, that is 216.5. Okay, now for this one, y will be divided by 3, that will be 60, and what is 140? So sorry, 540 divided by 3, that should be 180. Okay, so now we have to look at the range. The range of y is between 0 and 180. So here we have 60, 180, so both are good. Here we have this, good, good, and good. This is outside. So your values of y will be 23.5, 60, 96.5, 143.5, and then 180. For the range of 0 to 180, these are the values of y that satisfy your equation. And now for the last question, tan of z minus pi by 3 equal to this between these two regions. So now if tan is positive, it is in your first quadrant and in your third quadrant. First is just theta, and third is pi plus theta. So let's find the value of the angle. So first one is this minus this equal to tan inverse of root 3. So what is tan inverse of root 3? That should give you an exact value of 60 degrees. So your answer needs to be in terms of pi. That will be pi by 3. That should be 60 degrees is pi by 6. No, pi by 3, my bad. Yeah, pi by 3 should be the value in terms of radians. Now, this is the first value. How about the third quadrant will be this plus this. So this plus pi by 3. Okay, so now to find the value of z, pretty straightforward. That will be pi by 3 plus pi by 3, and then pi plus pi by 3 plus pi by 3. So first one will give you 2 over 3 pi, and then this one will give you that is 1 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3. That should give you so that is 1 times, so we have 1, let's give you 1 2 over 3 pi, which is 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5, so 5 over 3 pi. So just to explain how I did this was I took out pi, so I had 1 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3, so we can just do that directly here. So 1 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3, that should give you this. This is this, which is 1 2 over 3. Now if you expand this, 1 times 3 plus 2, that should be 5 over 3 pi. So this is your answer for the values of z. Okay, and that was the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.